talking about wines. This is one in a series on the topic of meals and table etiquette. Talking about meals and table etiquette, we can't escape or avoid the topic on wines because it's one of those things that goes with fine dining. For those who haven't met me before, my name is Anisia Mwaniki. I'm a lawyer by profession, but on this channel, I talk about social etiquette. So today, let me talk about wines. It's a very broad topic. This is just a general introduction on some aspects of on wines. And then, without too much ado, let's talk about the different types of wines. I'll talk about the four main ones. And I'm sure for some people, when you hear about types of wines, you're like, are we talking about brands? Are we talking about, what is it that we're talking about? It's not even brands. Brands are very many. We can't even enumerate them. But it's like a broad classification, as it were, on wines. The first of these is what we call table wine. Sometimes it's also referred to as still wine. Yeah, and ordinarily wines accompany meals. And when you talk about table wine specifically, it's about those wines that you take with meals. And usually they are divided into three: red, white, and rose. Red wine is usually served with red meat and usually served at room temperature, while white wine is served with white meats and usually chilled. Rose wine can accompany either white or red meat. Then the second class of wines is what we call sparkling wine. And the most common that probably we know is what we call champagne. By the way, champagne is not the only sparkling wine. There are many. Yeah, Champagne is a place in France, and it's named after that. And sparkling wine is made by like a second fermentation that is done in the bottles to cause the sparkle. Yeah, that's why it's called sparkling wine. It's usually used in celebrations and so on and so forth. Then the third is what we call fortified wines. And under fortified wines, there are also many brands. Yeah, fortified wine is a wine that has had some spirit added to it. But I forgot to mention at the beginning that wines are made from fermentation of grape juice, yeah, with nothing else added. It's grape juice, yeah, which is a basic ingredient of making wines. So when you talk about fortified wine, it's wine that has had some distilled spirit added to it, yeah, and usually it will have a much higher alcohol content than an ordinary table wine. There are many brands in this. Probably some of the most common ones would be sherry, which is made in Spain, and then port, which is made in Portugal. Many of these, by the way, will be named quite generally, actually, with the wines in the country from which they are produced. Then number 4 is what we call aromatized wines. Like the word signifies, is that there's some aroma added to it. Yeah, so this will be wines that are both fortified and flavored. Yeah, they are fortified, meaning that they have some spirit in it, and then they are flavored with different things, with fruits, with herbs, with different things. And the common group under the aromatized wines is what we call vermouth. Yeah, and I'm sure there are quite familiar with those who are used to taking wines and alcoholic drinks. For example, things like Cinzano and Martini are among the aromatized wines. Yeah, so meaning that they are both fortified and flavored. Then another group of aromatized wines would be what we call bitters. Bitters are used both as drinks and also used as medicines. These will be drinks that have been flavored with strong herbs, barks of trees, and so on and so forth. Examples of this would be Campari, Angostura, and so on and so forth. Of course, we can't, like I say, enumerate them. There will be, just as a way of general knowledge, there are some countries that are known for having for being producers of wine over the centuries. Yeah, that's what sometimes they call them, the old world. Yeah, and that would be mainly Europe and the Mediterranean countries. That's why I suppose even in the scriptures we talk about there's so much reference to the wines because it's an old tradition. It's part of their tradition. There are a lot of grapes grown in those countries. And that's why just as by way of mentioning this, when you talk about social etiquette and learning things and having an open mind to learn, this is one of those areas that for some of us this could be something really foreign, and it's a question of learning. At least learn the basics and you increase that knowledge little by little. For example, somebody mentioned to me not so long ago how someone lost a chance of a job in Italy because he didn't know, he didn't realize that it's part of the day-to-day thing of having table wine, and he took a little too much. So the fellows who were interviewing him thought that he was an alcoholic, but he wasn't. He was just excited to see the wine, yeah, because it's not a common thing for many Africans, for example. Yeah, so it's good to grow, yeah, to increase our knowledge little by little. Like I say, because some of these things are really foreign, and we can't, like I said in other videos, import them wholesale. It's good to learn and to learn how they are used. For example, some of these ones that we know, some of the wines, to know that they are aperitifs, meaning that they are served before meals, and those that are served also after the meals as digestives. Yeah, and let's keep learning, let's keep our minds open, and let's enjoy ourselves while we are at it. And like I said, when we're talking about spirit, drinks are supposed to be savored. We don't drink just to get drunk. It's part of fine dining. Yeah, so let's try and do it in style. Keep tuned for many other videos that are coming on this channel. See you. Bye.